In the spirit of the Eid al-Kabir celebration, the news reaching us at African Free Press Television this evening is that the former Secretary General of the Federation, Chief Olufalaye, who was abducted on Tuesday, has been released. We'll bring you details shortly. My name is Leo Oketa. The news in details. Inspector General of Police Solomon Araze has reiterated the commitment of the Nigerian police force to sustain the fight against insurgency in the country. This is contained in a statement issued by the force spokesman Olabisi Kolawole in Abuja on Thursday. The statement stated that Araze said this when a delegation from the U.S. Embassy, led by Ambassador Daniel Mozena, visited him at the force headquarters, Abuja. He said that a Deputy Commissioner of Police had been deployed to the Operations Command Center in Maiduguri. Earlier, Mozena commended the police for their efforts in upholding professionalism and the rules of engagement in the ongoing fight against insurgency in the Northeast. He offered to help the force in handling the issue of terror suspects who may lay down their arms. Office of the National Security Advisor has issued a security alert on the likelihood of Boko Haram attack on Lagos seaports. The alert was issued as a result of the concern expressed by the United States Embassy on the security situation at the nation's seaports. The security alert was signed by Assistant Comptroller General of Customs in charge of enforcement and intelligence, Mr. Dan Ugo, on behalf of the Comptroller General, Colonel Hamid Ali. Following the security alert, the Nigerian Customs Service has begun the restriction of persons into its various commands and formations in Lagos. The development has brought about an increase in the level of security checks at all access points in the ports. Meanwhile, the leadership of the Port Facility Security Officer Forum has also warned its members to increase surveillance on their facilities and reduce the number of people into their premises. Since last week, a long queue of clearing agents had resurfaced at the Nigerian Ports Authority (NPA) gate, where thorough checks were conducted before access is granted. Former Bayelsa State Governor Chief Timipre Silva has described as a deliberate act of mischief and lies claims by the Edo State Governor Comrade Adam Soshomole that he truncated the electoral process during the disputed governorship primaries of the All Progressive Congress APC in the state. According to him, though the Edo State Governor was the chairman of the election committee and had left the venue of the primaries, the election which led to his emergence as the flag bearer of the party was free, fair and without violence, as claimed by the Edo State Governor Adams Oshomole. Silva, in a statement issued through his media advisor, Doifi Bukoribo, on Wednesday night, said it is unfortunate that people like Adam Soshomole, the governor of Edo State and the former president of Nigerian Labour Congress, who pretend to be incorruptible, would conduct himself in a manner in which he did in relation to the Bayelsa State governorship primary. It was clear that Oshomole never wanted to conduct the primary as scheduled. World Health Organization has applauded the recent appointment of former Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of Economy, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, as the chair-elect of the board of Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance. Dr. Okonjo-Iweala is a renowned development economist and a former Nigerian finance minister. She is expected to bring more than 33 years of her development and financial expertise to the Gavi board at a critical period for immunization in developing countries. Earlier this year, WHO warned that vaccines are not being delivered equitably or reliably, and that only 1 out of 6 key vaccination targets for 2015 is currently on track. The introduction of underutilized vaccines, a target to which Gavi has contributed significantly. In taking up the position of the board chair, Dr. Okonjo-Iweala will succeed Daphne Høy-bråten, a former Norwegian Minister of Health and current Secretary General of the Nordic Council of Ministers. She will also work closely with Dr. Flavia Postru, WHO's Assistant Director General for Family, Women's and Children's Health, who is the Vice Chair of Gavi. Since 2000, Gavi has supported the immunization of more than 500 million additional children, leading to 7 million future deaths being averted. WHO is one of the founding members of Gavi, a public-private partnership formed in 2000 to address global inequities in access and coverage of available life-saving vaccines. According to Human Rights Watch, Rwanda police is arbitrarily detaining vulnerable people picked up on the streets of the capital. The US-based campaign group says Kigali's reputation for being tidy comes at a price. HRW says it has documented the illegal detention of thousands, including street children and sex workers. Justice Minister Johnson Businkie told reporters the government will respond once they have read the report. But in a response to the HRW in 2014, Mr. Businkie rejected the allegations. The organization says the rounding up of street vendors, beggars, homeless people, street children, sex workers and petty criminals reflects an unofficial policy of keeping those considered undesirable away from public eye. Former detainees told HRW of routine beatings for actions as trivial as taking too loudly or not standing in line to use the toilet. Ghanaian Deputy Minister, Gender, Children and Social Protection, Mrs. Della Soa, has attributed the high rates of teenage pregnancy to lack of effective sex education both at home and in the schools. Citing the Ghana Health Service report, she said an estimated number of 750,000 teens aged between 15 and 19 years had been pregnant in 2014. These figures, she asserted, meant parents and teachers have a huge task to play in fighting the menace in the country. She also bemoaned the absence of parental commitment in child upbringing, saying both the man and the woman have no time in even taking care of the child, listening to the problem and provide necessary emotional and psychological support that they need. At least 717 people taking part in the Hajj pilgrimage have been killed in a stampede near the Islamic holy city of Mecca. Another 863 people were injured in the incident in Mina, which occurred as the 2 million pilgrims were taking part in the Hajj's last major rite. They converged in Mina to throw stones at pillars representing the devil. Preparations for the Hajj were mad when a crane collapsed at Mecca's Grand Mosque this month, killing 109 people. It is the deadliest incident to occur during the Hajj in 25 years. Pilgrims travel to Mina, a large valley about 5 kilometers, that is 3 miles from Mecca, during the Hajj to throw 7 stones at pillars called jamarat, which represent the devil. The pillars stand at 3 spots, where Satan is believed to have tempted the prophet Abraham. The pilgrims were walking towards the 5-story structure which surrounds the pillars, known as the Jamarat Bridge. Security personnel and the Saudi Red Crescent were immediately deployed to prevent more people heading towards the area, the directorate said. German Chancellor Angela Merkel has warned that a solution to the migrant crisis is far off, and how it is handled will shape Europe in the long term. She told German's MPs the latest EU measures agreed on Wednesday were only a first step, and that selective relocation of migrants was not enough. The flow of migrants over Europe's borders continues. Hungary announced a record 10,046 arrivals on Wednesday. Rows among nations also continue, the latest between Serbia and Croatia. The crisis has also sparked a warning from the European Commission that if it is not addressed properly, there could be a surge of right-wing extremism across Europe. About 500,000 migrants have arrived in Europe this year, exposing deep divisions within the EU. On Tuesday, EU minister backed mandatory quotas to divide up to 120,000 refugees amongst members, but the vote was passed only by a majority and was fiercely opposed by some nations. Slovakia has launched a legal challenge. That's the news for you on African Free Press Television. For more stories, please do visit our website at www.africanfreepress.com. Follow us on Twitter at African Free Press and like our Facebook page at African Free Press. From me, Leo Oketa, and the whole team in the studio this evening is a happy Eid al-Kabir celebration to you and all our Muslim faithful. See you next time. Bye-bye.